There's quite a lot of arrows you can do as defense on bind. What I usually do on B side is jump on top of the site and aim in the center of this blue section. Just do a one bounce with full charge. That way you can quickly check if someone is about to push long or hookah from fountain. Another variation of this can be shot from here. Just place your sight where these two meet and do a 2-bar charge. This arrow has a delay so that you can be ready to peek if someone is tagged by it. A good arrow to use if you want to check if someone is pushing hookah early is shot from here. These next two arrows are made by a guy named SnaptyX, so big thanks to him. For the Recon arrow, just stand in the corner here and line your crosshair up with the cable as shown. Then do a 1-bar charge. This will land here and reveal anyone pushing up. If a jet dashes, she will be able to get to hookah in time, so be careful for that. The previous arrow can be combined with a double shock dart to A short. For the next arrow, you line up the left side of the drone icon with this corner on the wall and do a 2-bar charge.
Shock Dart.
For the next arrow, you go a bit lower until the letter A lines up with this cable. Then you do a 1-bar charge and jump. These will land at the same time on short. I usually do this if my team calls out enemy smokes or footsteps towards A. If you're ever stuck on site and the enemy team is pushing, you can do good arrow from here. This one I learned from Sinatra, but there are tons of variations. Just do a full bar charge with 1 bounce and aim at the sign on the wall. The B side is full of good spots to throw your Recon arrow. Try to be unpredictable and remember that you don't always need a lineup. Sometimes you should just wing it. A good double shock if they're pushing up long can be shot from here. Line your crosshair up with this line until you meet the top of the ceiling. Do a 1 bounce and 2-bar charge. You don't have to, but it can be shot as a double shock speed. This next one is a good anti-plant dart. There tends to be a smoke from the enemy team here, so lining up this can be useful. Simply stand in this corner and do a full charge 2 bounces while aiming at this white spot on the wall. This will land default and it's a good anti-plant or even anti-diffuse. If you watch Average Jonas at all, you've definitely seen this one. It's a good anti-plant arrow for B site. For the first arrow, you line up the first line in your charge bar with this corner and do a 2-bar charge. For the next arrow, you go a bit lower and line this part of your head up with the corner of the building. Then do a 1-bar charge. If you shoot them a bit faster than I just did, they will land at the same time and kill anyone planting default. A good retake arrow from Hiko is really strong when this opening is smoked off. You just stand in this corner and you aim right at this cable right here. Do a 1 bounce and 2-bar charge. If you hit it right, it should actually land inside of this thing on the wall and be really hard to spot for the enemy team. Okay, let's do A-side defense. A lot of Sovas do this arrow where they simply bounce it in this wall. I do it myself sometimes and it works okay to check if someone is pushing up. A good variation though is to go back to heaven and position yourself here. Then you want to do a double bounce full charge while aiming about this area. What's good about this arrow is that it lands right here, so it will also reveal people on this side of shore, right next to the barrier. Another arrow I use when I want to play a bit more aggressive is shot from lamps. Usually there is a smoke here, so placing an arrow up high is really strong for both you and your teammates. Shoot the arrow up high on short when you hear the enemy. It's important to have a teammate ready on the other side of short so you don't get rushed with your bow out. With this arrow, I usually get a couple of kills through the smoke. I often find myself in this location, either it's because I just rotated from B or because I want to change things up. I usually jump peek bath from here. You can also just throw an arrow from this position, either with or without the bounce. Another arrow I've learned is really strong for an early check-in bath. What you need to do is to go up here and stand flush with this box right here. Then look up and line up your head with this shadow right here. Then just do a 1 bar. This is gonna go through the window and it's gonna clear most of bath. People can still hug this wall and not be seen, so be careful. Before we start with the lineups for anti-plant shock darts, it's just important to know that you can hit the default plants with a lot of freestyle arrows. If you do one bounce and then jump here, as you can see, it hits the default plant. Same thing for the box right here. Just find your way to hit these shocks. You can hit the corner here, and you can actually do the same thing for Cubby. Just practice in a custom game and you'll find a lot of these variations. You can hit triple from here as well. Just do a one bounce and full charge here.
Shock Dart.
Okay, now for the lineups. The first one is quite advanced and it's showcased by Average Jonas. First, you line up the edge of the drone bar with this part of the wall. Then you do a simple 2-bar charge.
Scanning ahead.
The next one is a bit trickier. We're gonna use this triangle right here to line it up. You're gonna line up your HUD so it fits the triangle like this. So the first one is shot from here, and then you go a little bit lower until you hit the triangle lineup like this. Then do a 1-bar while jumping.
Revealing area.
Both together will look like this.
Revealing area. Revealing area.
An easier variation of this is the one I learned first. I can't remember who made this lineup, but you walk in the middle of these posters right here and you line up these two triangles. Then you simply do a 1-bar. This is gonna hit default and you can line it up really fast. Okay, so the last arrow that I'm gonna showcase is another one made by Average Jonas. What I used to do, and sometimes still do when I have little time, is just to do a 2-bar 1 bounce into this carpet to hit default. Heaven window here is usually smoked off, so Average Jonas found a way to line this up without any vision outside. We simply use the edge of this tile and line it up with the right drone wheel as shown. Do a double bounce full charge and you will hit default plant. To hit triple from the same spot, just use the right side of your green drone bar with the same tile and do a 1-bar 1 bounce.
Scanning ahead.
That's it for this video. I hope you learned something, and if you want me to keep doing this, please tell me in the comments. Also, tell me if I should go back to just making highlights. The plan is to release Bind Attack next week. So thanks for watching and I'll see you then.